Hello, I'm Olivia Wayne and welcome to the SheerLuxe Show. We have another fab show for you today with fashion, food, a bit of culture and of course a catch up with the team. Now first up we're discussing the wedding everyone's talking about and sharing our opinions on the fashion event of the month, plus Easter plans, hosting tips and more. Lou and Charlotte are here answering all of your burning questions on new season fashion, from trends to take note of to the shoes you have to have. They have you covered to make the transition into spring as stylish as possible. Sommer Pyne is cooking up a delicious alternative Easter feast and showing us how to style a beautiful celebration table. Plus, I'm going to be joined by Makala Green, author of the new bestseller, The Money Edit, about the empowerment of understanding your finances and changing your mindset about money in order to make better financial decisions. Some advice we could all do with. And finally, Steele is sharing what's hot in April. You won't want to miss it. But first, it's chat with Sherry, Georgina and Heather. Welcome, ladies. So good to see you. Okay, let's talk about the wedding of the century. What did you make of it?
Oh, I loved it. Despite all the money and the blitz and the glamour, I actually thought there were those moments you saw in pictures where they're just like gazing lovingly.
Do you think it's a genuine romance? Oh, Heather, you're nodding in fact.
I think so. Like,
Yes.
it might not last forever, but I do believe that they genuinely are like, yeah.
But what do you reckon, Sherry? I mean, they had to sign a prenup from her side, is it? Which is so hilarious. The Beckhams are the poor,
they're
poor
the poor
relations. But do you think like the parents are a bit like, let's see where this goes, or is that just common with the rich and famous?
Probably, but they're also really young as well. He's what, 22, 23?
And she's like 27, I think.
Oh,
she's
yeah,
a bit
she's older.
Yeah.
I really loved her dress. I loved the square neckline that she wore.
Yes. Who was your best dress? It's very hard to get a good picture because Vogue embargoed everything. So we can't really show you, but we'll link kind of Instagram links so you can explore for yourself.
They've been like drip fed, aren't they? So it's hard to have an overview of the whole
know.
thing, which is clever but annoying.
No,
if you want
hit
to have
us
a
with all
look.
the imagery. Let's go. All right, best dress, Georgina.
I just love Victoria Beckham's dress. She has just got a killer figure. I don't know what regime she was on pre-wedding, but probably more than the bride.
Celery juice style.
yeah. And she's just like the shoulder, like her collarbone and the straps, and then it just like, it was like molten liquid. It just like, oh, I don't know, just gorgeous.
Did you think it was appropriate for mother of the groom to be so kind of naked?
Well, actually, I thought she could have gone way more out, but because of the shape of it and the way she just had her hair up, I thought the kind of balance was actually really good.
Also, though, it is Miami heat.
I was going to say, it wasn't
so
a sort
true.
of country house in the UK on
Absolutely.
a potentially drizzly April.
Okay, so we did like Victoria. Anyone else, Sherry? I like this one.
I thought Eva Longoria looked amazing. I mean, she always does. She always looks unreal. I just love her dress. It was very simple, very loyal. She was wearing Victoria Beckham. It was just like simple, sleek. And also, I think it was either really dark navy or black, which traditionally you wouldn't really wear to a wedding, but she just made it look so good.
I thought she looked beautiful. But as you say, Eva Longoria always looks beautiful.
She does,
Heather, who did you choose?
I thought all the bloats looked really good.
Yeah.
Like, they were all mostly in Dior, I think. But I thought, they all looked really good.
And often it's the men that get overlooked, but they pulled up their side of it all. I went for Serena Williams because first of all, I loved the pink. It was so vibrant, strong shoulder and long sleeve. I just think so elegant. And I think she's a great friend of the Beckhams. But it's just like, it was like really bright and lovely and joyful to see, compared to like a black dress, a navy dress. And also Jackie Adams, she looked good. Ooh. I mean, grandmother of the groom, a very chic Victoria Beckham jumpsuit, nice little crop blazer, love that. I would probably go for that option out of them all. Okay, well, enjoy, go on Instagram, do your thing, it was great. All right, Easter's coming up, yay! Do we like Easter? Is it a fun one?
If you like chocolate, what's not to like about Easter?
So we love Easter then?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Have any of you done Lent?
No.
And like,
No.
I did it, and I'm not even Christian.
Did you? What did you give up?
I just needed a chocolate break. So I was like, this is the perfect time to give up chocolate because that's what you're supposed to do. So I am relishing and chomping at the bit to get to Sunday and have those mini eggs.
So I've given up chocolate before for Lent. But then what I found was I kind of substituted the sweetness of chocolate for just other sweet things like Haribo's. Does that work, or was it a sugar thing?
No, it was chocolate. So I've had plenty of pick and mix. Don't worry about it. Let's talk. What are you doing? Lunch? Like, what's your plans?
We're going to spend it with my parents.
Nice.
We will go down and we've got little cousins and bigger cousins. So we normally do an Easter egg hunt in the garden. We've got a nice big country garden. So lots of space for everyone to run around. Roast lamb, all very traditional.
All the things, yeah.
Very traditional.
Okay, Heather?
Going to my boyfriend's parents, it'll be a similar, not the Easter egg hunt stuff, but
do
roast lamb.
Don't do big Easter egg hunt.
But we might go to church in the morning for a sing-song, because it's round the corner. But yeah, no, I just like it. Me and Sherry were saying, when you don't have kids or anything, it's just basically 4 days off, isn't it?
Yeah.
And, with a bit of food thrown in, so.
Sherry, any good plans?
Yeah, similar to you guys, just catching up with family. It's very chill. I feel like Christmas is a bit more high stakes. There's more pressure to spend time with your extended family. As much as I love them, it's just nice to just relax.
Tablescapes then, you're all having these gorgeous kind of meals. How, if you were hosting, would you be setting your table? What bits would you be adding?
Napkin rings.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Napkins.
Ring. And I think it's better to actually invest in some things you can use all year round, but make sure you can match up a few things into kind of Easter colours, which I think are kind of all the obvious pastels, but then a sort of, you could go brighter with a nice yellow or green or, a good pink. And there were some lovely napkin rings that are by Table Love, and they have, it's actually an orchid, but it passes well for a daffodil.
Okay.
If you get it in yellow. So you could use that and then still use it other times of year. So yeah, there's lots around.
Aww. Heather?
I was like, if I was going to host and money was no object, the set have got some really good tablecloths that are a bit OTT. One's covered in loads of sort of spring vegetables. I was like,
if you're doing it.
Yeah, might as well go for it, but keep the rest simple. But I was like, that's what I'd do.
Sherry?
Well, I'm not really organised enough to do a whole tablescape. I wish, but Lay London do a really good rental service where you can just choose the theme that you want and then just deliver it all and then send it back, which is great for someone like me who doesn't really know where to start, not sure how to mix and match. So that's a good option.
It's true. And also, if you live in a place that doesn't have much storage to hold on to these things or store them,
exactly.
It's like, bring it in and send it back. Renting's the way forward, isn't it? And the Click London do that too. They're great. Okay, cool. So Easter, done. Perfect. Spring fashion. Now, Lou and Charlotte are doing a whole thing for us shortly. But with that in mind, what have we got our eye on other than everything? Sherry, let's start with you this time.
Well, I haven't been buying too much, too many clothes. I find this is a really hard time because it's cold in the morning, very muggy during the day. But I did recently buy the Birkenstock Bostons, which I know everyone has them, but they're so comfortable. They go with everything, socks, no socks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really into them.
I think that's a great investment.
Yeah, can't recommend enough.
Okay, good. Heather, what are you going for?
I haven't bought it yet, but I've been thinking about getting some white denim dungarees for a while, and I found a good sort of shortish pair. So
short ones.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And also, that's you're gonna bring that out every spring.
Exactly.
But white. Oh, good luck to you.
I know I'm really messy, so I don't know what I'm thinking. I've just already got some black ones. It seems like the next best option.
Georgina.
So I actually have made my spring investment. I bought a dress that I wore to a wedding on Saturday, and I've got a few events coming up in the next few months, having obviously not had many for 2 years, blah, blah, blah. So I'm quite excited to just kind of keep getting it out. It's a lovely pink dress from me and Em.
Lovely. And some sandals? What are you wearing with them?
Yes, I will. I've invested in some of the Loeffler, or Randall gold. And I wore them on Saturday, and actually I've never been more comfortable.
Good.
Everyone keeps saying they're really
chunky heel, isn't it?
It's a big block heel. Yeah, I didn't go for the platform ones actually. I just went for the normal one with the block heel. Yeah, I just felt like I was walking around in my slippers for about 6 hours.
Birkenstocks, what an upgrade. Not true. Okay. And I think, even though I shouldn't be, but it is spring, summer. I think, have you seen the Prada tote that's, it's kind of the cross, I can't even explain it, but it's like a traditional beach wicker,
it's
help
a
me
basket
out
bag
here.
type thing.
No, it's not. I'm being really thick. No, it's like a hole. But you'll see it everywhere, but it's such a good tote. How useful is this on the beach? Because you can actually dump all the toys, all the goggles, all the sun cream in it, but it looks so chic, and you can take it shopping, and it's a great day bag. So actually an investment, but for all the things.
Yeah, cost per wear. Perfect.
Definitely, yeah.
Oi, I need another coffee. Well, ladies, as always, it was such a pleasure chatting to you. Thank you so much. Next up, Charlotte and Lou are here to solve all of your spring-summer fashion dilemmas.
There are 3 key trends to keep an eye out for this spring summer. The first is cutouts, whether it's Colt Gaia, Jacquemus or Christopher Esbar, midriffs are reigning supreme. So if you're feeling brave enough, either a bralette or just a little cutout here to display a bit of midriff age, have some really great dresses which showcase the look. Bold colours are another one. Max Mara, Valentino, everybody's doing bright, summery shades head to toe. It's all about colour blocking. So pinks, yellows, blues, just be bold and you can't go wrong. Finally, the naughties are back. Low slung jeans. There's so many stomachs on display at the moment. You would have seen that Miu Miu skirt that went viral. So if you feel like showing off those abs, then that trend is for you. If not, there are lots of skinny rib tanks, tiny little glasses, everything that was so popular back in the glory days of the early noughties.
My number one essential has got to be a chunky sandal.
I'm gonna cheat a little bit. It's not a must-have product for me. It's a must-have brand. I am obsessed with Jacquemus for spring summer 2022. They are nailing every trend. Bright sugary pinks, cut-out dresses, everything is so fun and frivolous and feminine. The first piece I bought from their spring summer collection is this noisy chunky bracelet, but I'm just obsessed with it. Everything, as I say, is so much fun, including all of their accessories, and I'm definitely gonna be buying some cut-out mini dresses for my summer holidays too.
I absolutely love these from Anina Bing. That sort of quilted, squishy accessory is also everywhere. And then it's no secret I'm a big fan of Birkenstocks. They've got a sort of semi-raffia detail as opposed to the leather, which I think makes them feel a little bit more special. And if you're already a Birkenstock fan, then why not add these to your collection? I took this as if you're going on a British staycation and it was going to rain. Sad that I think that way about England. First one has got to be a sweatshirt. Love this one from Anina Bing. I think she literally does the best sweatshirts. Then a boyfriend shirt with nothing underneath are the best at the boyfriend shirt. But a really nice oversized stripy shirt. Great over swimwear, great tucked into jeans, shorts, whatever. I think it's just a really good layer to have. Couldn't be complete without a pair of denim shorts. These are the Levi 501 shorts. I actually got these last summer, and I kind of think they're gonna be the type of thing that will wash and wear even better with age. So get your hands on a pair of these, they're just perfect. Something a little bit more pretty and feminine. I think a good midi dress will also stand you in good stead. So I couldn't pick between the white and black, so got 2. This one is from Ulla Johnson, and I am obsessed with the shape on this. I think it's also great because you could really dress it up, dress it down. You could also chuck a sweatshirt over your shoulders if you get a bit cold in the evenings. And then also this really pretty one from Jocelyn, which is a really beautiful Australian brand which do incredible resort wear and amazing dresses. And just look at the shape on that. Love the button detail. Lovely pretty sleeve. Oh, pockets, always a winner. Just love that. Then finally, you're always gonna need a layer. Free People quilted jacket, I can't remember the name of it, it'll pop up on screen, is amazing and perfect to kind of throw on anything. Also love this denim shirt. This one's from Frame. Again, a really nice layer, which is gonna go over every single one of these pieces, but sadly, UK weather is very unreliable and you need lots of layers. So I actually bought these for my wedding, but didn't end up wearing them. And they have been sat safely in my wardrobe. These are from A-Day. Sorry, they've got loads of packaging. Sorry.
This summer, we are being bold. The pandemic is over, we're going out, and so you have to have fun with everything. And these gold shoes from ASOS are the epitome of fun. You can basically do whatever you want with them. If you want them to be a really glam, vampy look with a slip dress and a bold red lip, they look awesome, but you can go kind of Love Shack vibes with a frilly sock and a pretty dress as well. They are really versatile, really cool, and you really can't go wrong.
I thought these were going to be such a perfect all-round occasion shoe to literally wear with anything. I just love how comfortable they are going to be. Thick heel, great in grass. Not too high, you can wear it all day long. A kind of off-white cream, gonna go with everything. Square toe, a little bit more modern. What's not to love? This is one of my favorite topics because when it comes to event dressing, I literally despise trying to find a dress. So it's all about separates for me. So I pulled out this one from Self Portrait with a really beautiful shape. It's got this high detail at the top and then a kind of stretchy bodice. And then controversial, who knows? I would pair it with an off-white trouser. I just think that is so chic. And then the A-Day shoes that I showed you earlier. And I think that's a really lovely alternative wedding outfit look.
I'm obviously not anti-fringe, but I am going to make the case for the non-fringed variety. This is mine, this is from Ray at Matches. I love it as a really easy layering piece and it goes a little bit more under the radar than some of the more statement fringed options out there. It smells so suede-y.
Either, absolutely love both. I've been on the hunt for both for a very long time. I actually went to Paris recently and tried on an amazing suede fringe jacket in a vintage store, which was so heavy, but it was incredible and I really regret not buying it because it was 120 euros. Anyway, this is from Free People and it's a faux suede and it's got fringing on the kind of back. It's that real Western look. And yeah, a suede jacket is something I think that will come around time and time again and a really nice thing to buy vintage as well. I think the hunt for a modern trench coat is like a lifelong mission. When you find the one, you know it's the one. And there are some seriously good ones out there this season. This one is from Marcella and it's a really great kind of boxy, oversized shape, which I think is definitely what you want to go for. Just perfect to layer over everything. Then the other one that I've seen, which I really like, is this from Massimo Dutti and it's actually a linen, which you don't see so often in trench coats, but I think is a really lovely detail. It's maybe a little bit smarter, so perfect for workwear as a really useful layer when the mornings are still quite cold and you're commuting into the office.
These are quite heavy. It obviously has to be a chunky creeper like this. These are Russell & Bromley. They take inspo from all the biggest designer brands. They basically just make every outfit look so much cooler. However, if you want something a little bit less fashiony, a little bit more classic. These are mine from last year, Russell & Bromley. They don't have the exact same style, but I really recommend looking out for a buttery soft cream leather flat. I have worn these to death, as you can probably tell, and are a really useful in between when the weather's not quite sure what it's doing and you just want to feel smart and polished, but not too cutting edge.
So my two go-to high street destinations for workwear would be number one, Reiss. They have always been kind of leading the way in the high street with workwear separates, whether that is tailoring blouses. They also do great dresses. I also absolutely love Massimo Dutti, and I wanted to pull out this linen suit, which is 100% on my wish list, and it will not only work for the workplace, but great as separates. Then it's not an affordable option, but just wanted to also flag Amy, which is a multi-brand designer boutique. They stock brands like C and Isabel Marant, and they have launched their own line and had to share these beautiful shirts. How nice would that, for example, look under that linen suit with some linen trousers, just a really smart, chic workwear look for summer.
So the key to making shorts grown up is, first of all, in the shorts themselves. You don't want anything too short, and I really recommend going for a tailored pair for something a little bit more polished. This pair are by Envelope 1976 and are just a really clean, classic pair that aren't so long. You can still wear them with flats, which is ideal.
Denim boiler suits are everywhere this season. I'm meant to be showing you a beautiful one from Mango, but it sadly hasn't arrived in time, so the cutout is going to pop up on screen. But Mango is a really good destination for affordable, let's say, designer dupes. And then if you are looking to invest a little bit more, I am obsessed with this one from Citizens of Humanity. It also comes in a white, so whatever kind of you prefer. This has probably been in my basket for about 4 weeks, and I'm so excited to finally get to try it on. I love the shape, I love the wash. You really don't need much else. It's, you know, it does what a dress does.
Everybody needs a good linen blazer in their summer wardrobe. I have one from H&M last year. This is from Zara, and it's basically just gonna look good over absolutely everything from pretty dresses to tailoring to t-shirts. And it's a great way to layer up in the evening on holiday, but you can also get loads of wear out of it at home too.
This is one of my favorite topics. I would always go to the menswear department. This one is from American Vintage. This is my own, and it's such a good shape. I think with a crew neck t-shirt, you don't want it too low. Then Novo, if you want something a little bit thicker, this is kind of almost like a bit like a sweatshirt material. This comes in white and black, again, a really good staple. Then final one is from Skims. This is literally the softest thing I've ever touched, and again, a really great boxy shape, nice high neckline, can't go wrong.
Thanks so much, girls. That was so great. Now, if like me, you use Easter Sunday as an excuse to overload on the mini eggs and copious amounts of chocolate lying around, you will love this next segment. Sommer Pyne is here to counteract all of that chocolate with a simple salmon dish worthy of a celebration lunch. Plus, she shows us how to lay the prettiest Easter table.
Hi, I'm Summer, and with Easter just around the corner, I've got a great recipe that's so easy and it will put that wow factor on the table. It's great for entertaining. So today we're going to make a baked salmon with a coconut and lime broth, super delicious, with wild rice and a side of spring greens. Okay, so we're going to start with the salmon. I'm simply just going to season and put some olive oil on there, and then we're going to pan fry it because I want their skin crispy, and also I do that to lock in the flavors. Now I know traditionally people cook lamb, and I love lamb, but you know, with a lot of food around Easter, you might want something a little bit lighter, and then also obviously you've got pescatarians who may not eat meat. So I'm just going to put a little bit of salt, shy, and some olive oil, and then some pepper. And we're just going to make sure that's covered on both sides. So I'm just going to turn it over and do the same on the other side. And then we'll just give it a little massage, make sure it's covered. I really love Easter. Usually, I remember last year, the sun was shining, it was so nice, we took it outdoors. And this, for me, at springtime is just so light and lovely. Okay, so we're just going to massage that in like that. And we're going to take that over to the frying pan. This is probably a good time just to do the rice. So I'm just going to season some boiling water, and then I'm going to put my wild rice in here, and that's going to take about 20 to 25 minutes. So we'll just let that simmer away, and we'll come back to that later. Okay, so now we're going to just pan fry our fish. So I'm going to just put the hob on. Just wait for that to heat up. I'm just going to put some olive oil in there. It is quite large, but it will just sort of gut the sides, but that's fine. Let's put some olive oil in there. So I'm just going to get the salmon now, and I'm going to put that in the frying pan on skin down. We're just going to leave that for about 3 minutes, and then we'll flip it over just to seal it, and then we'll pop it in the oven. Right, so I'm just going to put this into the tray. Like that. Okay, so my oven is heated to 180, and I'm just going to pop that in now. And this will probably only need to cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, let's make the broth. We'll just turn the hob on. And I'm just going to start with the coconut milk. So we're going to pour that in. We're just going to put this on medium heat because you just want everything to kind of infuse and get all the flavors through. I'm going to add to that a chili, lemongrass. I'm going to add a couple of ginger as well, fresh ginger, and some lime juice. You might actually want to add some of the lime rind as well. Might do that towards the end. Okay, so we want to put a bit of saltiness in there, so I'm going to use some fish sauce. We're going to add some sugar to that for some sweetness. And I'm going to add a little bit of chicken stock as well, just to give it some extra flavour. And don't forget the kaffir lime leaves. I'm just going to scrunch these up a bit. Again, I just want to release the flavours. And that is it. So just as you've taken out the salmon, you can just quickly do the green veg right at the end because it's just literally a couple of minutes. And all I'm going to do to a hot pan is add some olive oil and some garlic. You can already hear it sizzling, and some mustard seeds. When you hear that cracking, that's ready to go. Just going to add some salt to that, a bit of pepper, and then we're just going to stir fry that through. I kind of want the greens to not burn, but you want them to brown up a little bit, and that's done. Okay, so I've just taken the salmon out of the oven. I just flipped it over so I've got the flesh side up because I think that looks a lot nicer. Okay, so now we're going to serve this with the broth, which I'll just grab. Right, I'm just going to ladle over the juices like so. And what I'll do with the remaining, I'm not going to put all the broth on here, and then I'll put this in a jug and I'll put that on the table. And then when people serve themselves, they can just add a little bit more broth over the vegetables, and oh, it'll be so nice. And to this, I'm just going to add some lime. We're going to put some garnish on there because we want this to look really beautiful. It is Easter, and it's all about, you know, celebrating with family and friends. And again, we want to get that wow factor. So I'm just putting some shredded chili, medium chili, but you obviously can go really hot if you want to. And I'm going to add a little bit of coriander. So we just want some of the green, the red, the lime flavors, everything coming through, and I think that looks divine. And I just served that with my spring greens and some wild rice, and I think that looks incredible, and I guarantee you your friends will love to eat that on Easter Sunday. Okay, so when I design my tables, I don't like it to be like really fussy. I'm quite low key, but I do like to make a bit of an effort. For me, the centerpiece, the table, is really important. I want my guests to come in and I want them to feel like I've made a real effort because I want them to feel special at the end of the day. And I think the easiest way to pimp up your table is through flowers. Today I've gone extra with, I've got a vase, this beautiful vase, and I've got some twigs, I've got some beautiful spring flowers from my local florist, and I've just simply hung some decorations, these egg decorations. I just think they're really classic. I love the colors, and I kind of use these colors for my themes. You'll notice like everything's quite muted in color. When I'm thinking about my guests, I want them to sort of discover things when they're sitting at the table. So one of my biggest tips is actually eucalyptus is so versatile. I love the smell of it. You can put it in a vase, but I actually like putting it on a table, and I've just sort of weaved this through the table, and then I've got little sprigs of flowers and I've just put them in there. And I've hidden little Easter eggs, so I think like the kids would love that. The adults would love it as well. You know, depending on how formal you want to be, you could put some name place cards. And I think what would be actually really sweet is to leave your guests with a gift. So for example, this is an egg cup. These are from H&M. They're so lovely. They look really expensive, but they're actually quite reasonable. And I've got some candles also from H&M. And you could put a little name tag around that, or you could wrap it up as a little gift. So I think that's really sweet. So the napkins I've chosen, I guess these are kind of like a mauve, like a muted mauve color, which I really love. And look, there's so many ways you can fold a napkin, but all I do is roll them and then tie them in a knot. And today, because it's Easter, I've got a little Easter bunny. I've just put that through and I just simply wrap it around the plate. Again, it's just a bit more dramatic and it looks really pretty. It's those little touches that make all the difference. You want people to come and you want there to be like really nice butter on the table, good bread. I always go for sourdough and I just slice it up. And again, I put some butter on the table. You might want to add some salt and herbs. That always goes down really well. I've got some champagne chilling on the table. I hope you find that inspiring. Make sure when your guests arrive, you top up their glasses with some champagne because this weekend's about celebrating. Happy Easter to everybody. I hope you enjoyed that segment and I will see you next time. Cheers.
Thanks so much, Summer. That looks so delicious. I can't believe all of those accessories at H&M. Their homeware is so fab right now. Now, If you have ever felt like you needed to take better control of your money, my next guest is for you. I am now joined by Makala Green, the UK's first black female chartered financial planner, and her debut book, The Money Edit, has one clear goal: to help as many people as possible achieve financial freedom so they can gain the confidence and knowledge needed to live their best life. Makala explains how to reduce the shame around mismanaging money, empower people to understand their finances, and change their money mindset. Welcome, Makala. So lovely to have you here, and actually so essential to have you here. Right, where do we start? How do we start with changing our mindset towards money?
Yes, the mindset is such a big thing. It's everything. You know, I think there's so many myths and misconceptions around money. So I always say it's something that is free, doesn't cost you anything, you know, to build a positive mindset. And it's all about understanding what your values are, you know, how they align with the money and the way you spend, the way you look at things, and just trying to tell yourself more positive thoughts.
Would you suggest a lot of our negativity comes from our childhood and hearing like our parents' relationship with money? Like, does that inform our own viewpoints? Because, you know, we've all grown up in different backgrounds, financial circumstances, but where do we learn this behaviour and attitude towards money?
Yes, you know, a lot of what we are today stems from what we've learnt growing up, and money is no different. So the things that you learnt from your parents or didn't learn from your parents, you know, in school and didn't learn in school, these are the things that, you know, build that foundation of how we value money.
In changing our mindset, keeping it positive, reprogramming, what are very good ways to save money? Like, how much should you save? How should you go about saving? Tell us, teach us.
First of all, which most people don't take into consideration, discover what your purpose is for saving. Is it a property? Is it to achieve financial freedom? Is it to buy this lovely fancy holiday home? You know, what is it that you really want to save for? And that within itself, surprisingly, will give you that momentum to want to save. And I think that's the start.
If you're kind of in the day-to-day headspace of money being tight, stressful, bills, how do you also kind of positively view saving when you're kind of battling bills, debt, and negative elements of money?
Yeah, it's reprogramming, first of all, the mind, but also really just taking a snapshot of your current situation, current financial situation, and really just looking at what's going on in my bank account. And a lot of the times when we do look at these things, we get shocked. You know, there's lots of surprises in there. There's things that we never even thought
what we're going out
and what we're spending on. And I think sometimes if you can look at that and identify, and sometimes just, you know, set a bit of barriers, set a bit of control, you can generally find some room for saving. Even if it's a small amount that you can save, if you committed to that over time, it will build up.
All right, so how do you cut a non-essential expense?
Right, so the first... Yes, and non-essentials. Non-essentials will be things like, you know, your shopping, your holidays,
your coffees,
your socialising, your coffees. So it's not about saying, you know, you can't have a coffee and you can't have your cucumber and avocado toast, whatsoever it may be. But it's about kind of saying, well, how frequently do I want to do this, you know? And what is my goal that I have in mind in terms of my savings? So it might only be that you have to only cut back on, you know, drinking coffee every day to 3 days a week, and possibly making a coffee at home, you know, and for a year, you know, so you can then save for a property deposit. So these things are not forever.
And I guess it's important to view cuts or repurposing that money, not as a lack of or not being able to. It's more, no, there's a bigger, more exciting goal I want. So not to view it all as I can't, but more, no, I will do the bigger thing or the better thing. Right, what pitfalls should you avoid when it comes to money management?
Okay, spending more than you earn. Now, this is a big one, you know.
Seems so simple.
Many fall into the same similar trap, but you want to avoid spending more than you earn. And the only way that you can know how much you're spending is if you are reviewing, you are budgeting, and you know what's coming out. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then it's kind of saying to yourself, well, how much can I afford to spend on whatever it is that you enjoy spending on? Another thing would be to set some form of barriers. It's important that, you know, what we're doing today is not sacrificing our future plans and our future goals. So you're not kind of cutting back for, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. You're cutting back for yourself. Lastly, I would say, don't compare yourself to anybody else, because a lot of the times we get caught up in, the friends that we're around, and it's kind of like, oh, well, my friend earns X, Y, and Z, and they like going to these places, so I've got to keep up with them. And that can kind of steer you out of your own, personal financial journey and cause you to spend loads more money than you would anticipate. So I just think just being true to yourself and kind of saying, what can I physically afford? Where does that allow me to go?
Right, so how should we tackle the debt though? A lot of people will be struggling and it feels like suffering with it. It's a burden, a heavy burden. So how do you tackle it?
Debt is a thing that nobody likes. Nobody likes being in debt. There is good debt, there's bad debt. But regardless of the debt, good debt is like what we call as like mortgage debt.
Right, yes.
So everybody's quite proud to say, I've got a mortgage and I've got 500,000 outstanding on my mortgage. Everybody's proud to say that, but not much people are proud to say, I've got £20,000 debt on a credit card. Yeah, that's the debt that people are a bit ashamed of, and it's kind of like there's no blame and no shame around it. I personally, as a financial planner, experience most people have debt, and I think it's a matter of thing of owning up to yourself, not to anyone else, to yourself. I have £100,000 in debt, or I have £5,000 debt, and it's kind of saying, how am I going to tackle this? And this is the step that many people don't take. They don't look into how much debt they've got outstanding. They
across the board,
across everything. They kind of want to block it out. But I think it's a matter of a thing where you kind of own up to it and say, actually, this is what I've got outstanding. And this is the time period that I want to clear it. Set yourself a goal, because debt can go on for years on end. Something that you spend £100 on can take 20 years, surprisingly, to pay off if you're not careful. So there are two simple kind of methods. You've got like a snowboarding effect, which basically you will take on the debts that have the lowest interest. So you will take that on and try and pay those off first, or the smallest amounts. And that kind of gives you that momentum, doesn't it? To kind of say, well, actually, I've cleared a little bit of debt.
Addictive.
Yeah, it does. But again, the downside sometimes with clearing debts that just have the smallest amounts could mean that some of your debts with the highest interest are racking up too much. So you have another method, which is avalanche, which you're clearing the debts with the highest interest.
How do you build multiple streams of income? And especially if you're in kind of a normal 9-to-5 job where maybe you don't feel like you have other revenues.
So I always say, look for where your skills are and your passions are. A lot of the time we do these things and we don't, we're not getting any money for it. Like you might have a little side kind of hustle, side hustle that you do. You might do a bit of hairdressing on the side, or beauty, or makeup, or it could be anything. It could be advising your friends about styling or whatever it may be. But I think if you've got those skills and you've got those passions, if you've got a bit of time set aside, try and turn that into a business.
A little bit. It doesn't have to be your main focus.
It doesn't have to be your main focus. You can still continue to do your 9-to-5. And I think it's just strategizing, your time a bit more better and fitting in what can work around your kind of schedule.
What's your kind of side hustle then?
I love investing. I think it's one of those avenues that, again, you're investing into your future. So every pound you invest, it's kind of like a pound richer you are in future, and it compounds.
What about, I don't really want to get too far into the crypto world, but is that something you'd suggest or stay away from? Or
I think ask yourself the question, does investing scare me? And if investing does, then with crypto, you should almost run a mile.
Okay, so just to round off then, Makala, talk us through your tips. What do you suggest for everyone to take away from this chat to feel uplifted and positive and to change your money mindset? What are your top tips?
Yeah, so if you want to get to grips with your finances, again, make some rules, set some boundaries for yourself and kind of just say, this is how much I want to spend on my socializing each month. This is how much I want to spend, on going out or holidays, and actually try and stick to it. And the next step would be, take on and tackle any debts or anything that you've got that's kind of financially pulling you back from where you need to go in future. So if you've got credit card debts and things that need clearing, set a strategy, set a plan of action in order to clear that. And the third step would be, do set some financial goals. You want something to give you a bit of inspiration in terms of where you're heading in future. A lot of people do get a bit lost about, I don't know how to plan because I don't know what I want to achieve. And it's kind of like just simply, as you would do, set your goals. What's your 5-year goal plan? but then add a price tag to each one of your goals. And that just brings it more to life. And then kind of just work day by day, you know, working towards those goals that you set over the long term.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Makala. That was illuminating. And yeah, let's shift it. It's not negative. It's not taboo. It's money. It's great. It fuels our lives. Let's clear those debts. All right. Thank you so much, Makala. You can, of course, follow her at The Wealth Check, and the link to the money edit will be in the show notes below. Next up, Heather is here with her top picks for what's on in April.
Hello, my name's Heather Steele. I'm Managing Lifestyle Editor at SheerLuxe, and this is my April hot list. So the drinks launch I'm loving this month is this cool collaboration between East London Liquor Company and Pantechnicon, which is a really cool restaurant that's sort of Nordic and Japanese inspired in Belgravia. So yeah, they've teamed up to create this really nice bottle of aquavit, which is a sort of Swedish style spirit. And you can drink it on its own with ice, but also they are suggesting that you can use it in cocktails to replace whiskey or gin. So yeah, I think come summer, it'll certainly be a really fun sort of addition to have at home if you've got people coming round, or even if you just fancy something with ice at the end of the weekend. And they're also selling it at Pantechnicon as well. So they've got their really lovely rooftop that's open. That's definitely a really good place to try it. Honestly, one of the best chocolate makers out there is Laderack, which, if you haven't heard of them, are a Swiss brand that have been around since the 60s, but they launched in the UK last year, and I promise you their chocolate is so good. For Easter this month, they've created a collection of these really cute Easter bunnies, and they're so sweet. And this one I really like. It's one of my favourite chocolates of theirs, which is raspberry and white chocolate. They've just got the sweetest little faces, and I just think if you gave one to somebody for Easter, they'd be very happy. They come in loads of different flavours. So yeah, like I say, this is the raspberry and white chocolate one. There's also milk chocolate, dark chocolate, endless sort of nut varieties. For Easter, I don't think you can go wrong. I've been on a hunt for a portable speaker for the flat for quite a long time now, and I'm really pleased that I finally found one, which is this new Bang & Olufsen Explore, which they've had for a couple of years, but they've just created it in a nice navy and also this lovely chestnut colour. As you'd expect from the brand, the sound, which was, to be honest, the most important thing for us, is absolutely amazing. Like, so impressed with it compared to other speakers I've heard before, and certainly for the price point as well. Really impressed with it. Like I say, it looks really sleek, stylish. It's really like nice and weighty and metallic, and looks really, really nice wherever I pop it in the flat. I live in Brighton, absolutely love swimming in the sea, but obviously at this time of year the water is absolutely freezing. So yeah, I was really, really pleased to discover this brand called Davy J, who basically make amazing sort of long sort of sleeved swimsuits that are designed for cold water swimming. So it's a sort of made with sustainable materials. It's a sustainable brand. It's all recycled. And yeah, this particular one, it's a sort of mix between a wetsuit and a swimming costume, so it's not quite as thick as a wetsuit. It's got proper sort of sleeves where you can put your thumb over it, so it kind of acts a bit like a glove. And yeah, it's reversible as well, and they've got lots of other styles as well. But I think if you're into cold water swimming at this time of year, just before it starts to get nice in a couple of months, this is definitely a really, really good suit to invest in. And finally, my favourite film of the month is Drive My Car, which just won Best International Picture at the Oscars. It also won Best Foreign Language Film at the BAFTAs. It won loads of awards at Cannes last year, so it's genuinely well worth your time. Don't let the 3-hour running time put you off. It's an amazing film. So it's a Japanese film, and it's based on a short story by Haruki Murakami, and it basically centres on an actor and director in Japan, and his wife has died a couple of years ago, and a few years on he's given the opportunity to direct Uncle Vanya in Hiroshima. So he heads down there to sort of begin rehearsals and everything, and is essentially given a female driver to kind of chauffeur him around in his red Saab. And the story basically focuses on his loss, her loss separately, and how they kind of, you know, are very different people but sort of come together over the period of the film. It's well worth your time. So yeah, that's definitely my film of the month. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Heather. Loved that. So that is it for today. Thank you so much to Makala, Lou, Charlotte, Sherry, Georgina and Heather, of course. On the next show, we have a holiday edit from India Semi, more food from Sky McAlpine, some beauty inspiration from the team, and lots more. You won't want to miss it. In the meantime, we would love it if you could comment below, give us a thumbs up, and do subscribe if you haven't yet. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. Goodbye.